From smart tech to just plain smart decisions, the choices we make for our homes can help us save energy and money.
Today we'll share examples ranging from low-tech to high-tech that could make a difference for your PowerHouse.
Today on PowerHouse, we'll show you cool features you can get with a smart refrigerator.
We'll take a look at power surges and the energy-saving tools that can protect your electronics and equipment.
And we'll take a walk on the smart side with plugs and outlets, as well as answer some of our frequently asked energy questions.
Join us. We're making good choices on this week's PowerHouse.
Buying a new appliance is a real investment, so it's important that you do your research to find out all the options available to you regarding longevity and efficiency and features. And as you're doing that research, you're going to find out that smart tech is everywhere in this industry, especially when it comes to refrigerators. Here to tell us more is Ben Lobin with Appliance Plus. Thank you for having us in your showroom.
Thank you for coming in today.
Can you tell us how smart technology has really impacted this industry?
So with these new smart technology refrigerators in particular, you're going to have a lot more availability to change features on it and do more than you'd ever dream of on other refrigerators.
So are all of these things that you're touting with these refrigerators, is it worth investing in, or is it just kind of like flashy extras?
So with these refrigerators, you're going to get so many features that is very beneficial to the consumer. With these features, you're going to have where you can set it to your phone. So if you're, say, away on vacation and the door was left open when you left, it's going to alert you. So you could potentially turn around, have somebody come close that door so you're not losing food. Also, if you're, say, out and about and you're wondering when's the last time I changed my filter for the water, you can look on the app and it'll tell you how many days are left on that filter. So if you're somewhere that sells them, you can pick them up right there and you're saving a trip back to the store.
Well, that sounds really convenient. But convenience aside, let's talk about efficiency. How is it going to help save me energy and therefore help save money?
With these refrigerators, they're an adaptive defrost system compared to old systems that were just an old timer. They could be like clockwork. So with these, it's always going to adapt to how often the doors are open and closed, how long they're open. They're going to also test the humidity level in the room, depending on your home's humidity, and that's going to change how often that cycles your defrost on, which is a big energy user on refrigerators.
With a traditional refrigerator, it just kind of does it on its own.
It does, yep. It's just like clockwork, so if the compressor runs X amount of time, it's going to be every time right on the same dot.
Okay, well, you're in this business, so you're probably familiar with all the features available. Which ones are your favorites?
With these, my biggest feature I love on these is the software updates that you can do right from your phone. So say this refrigerator, you purchase it, and then 5-6 months later, they come out with an update that upgrades a feature on it or even adds a feature. It's going to alert you to say, hey, you need to update this to get this additional feature. Whereas if you have just a regular refrigerator, some are updatable but have to be done by a factory service technician.
Okay, and how about vacuuming out the coils?
So with the coils on these, you really don't have to do a lot of vacuuming. With your fans, that's drawing air in at a lower rate, but also it's cooling the system efficiently. So you're not getting that buildup like you used to.
Okay, well, let's talk dollars and cents because this is a real investment for people to make. So first, tell us what a smart refrigerator is price-wise, like a range, and then also what can a homeowner expect to see in energy savings?
So the smart refrigerators, depending on your features, are going to start around $2,000 on up to $4,000 and above. Depends on your features though. With that technology in it, compared to your normal units that are going to be around that $1,500 to $2,000 mark, it's really not much more to get the added benefit on these refrigerators.
Okay. So what can a homeowner expect to see as far as energy savings?
So on these refrigerators, with the smart system in it, you're going to see savings not just from your potential of catching food loss ahead of time, which is going to save you money on food. With these, as they're doing the adaptive defrost cyclings, you're going to be saving money on energy inputs into it. So it's not doing its normal everyday cycling like an older refrigerator would. with these, it's always adapting to run more efficient for the scenario.
Okay, I've got my new refrigerator. How do I dispose of my old one safely?
With our company, we do haul-aways where we encapsulate the Freon once it's in our shop with a certified technician, and then it's not released right out in the air like a lot of times was before. Or you can check with your utility company also on having that hauled away for you.
That's an excellent point. Thanks for having us here today, Ben.
Thank you for coming in.
And if you're in the market for a new appliance, go to our website as a resource, powerhousetv.com. Making the leap into smart technology features for your home can be a little overwhelming. Where do you start? And how much do you invest? And will you even like it?
Smart technology has a lot going for it, not the least of which is the ability to help you save energy. So starting somewhere, even in a small way, is worth looking into. And we may have the perfect place to start: smart plugs and outlets. Smart plugs were developed to make it easier to control home appliances, electronics, and fixtures remotely, putting the ability to save energy and money right in your hand. They're an affordable way to make your home more intelligent and energy smart.
Smart plugs or outlets typically come one of two ways: a single, like this one, or a multi-plug unit that you can plug directly into your standard outlet, or an outlet replacement unit that needs to be wired in like a regular outlet. Unless you're used to working with electrical components, professional installation of the wired outlets is really the best way to go. This is an upgrade that you might consider when you're building a home or when you're tackling a larger remodeling effort.
Smart plugs can be purchased in any quantity that makes sense for you, depending on the number of fixtures, appliances, or other plug devices you want to control. Plug the smart outlet into a standard outlet, plug your selected appliance or fixture into the smart outlet. Then pair the smart outlet to your Wi-Fi network or smart hub using the instructions provided with the unit. Download and access the associated application on your smartphone and dive into the controls. This is also the point where, if the plug allows, you can engage voice commands through your smart home hub or virtual assistant. Brands and their features may vary slightly, but generally you can get smart plugs for around $10 to $15 for a single plug. The advantage of the single plug unit is that you can spread several out to different rooms and different outlets to maximize their impact. Consolidated units that have 2 to 4 available plugs in one pluggable unit run less per socket, but limit you to only controlling the items that can reach that one outlet location. This setup could be useful for an area where you have multiple network electronics plugged in that you'd like to control remotely. Additional features such as surge protection can also impact the cost per unit, but could be worth the extra money.
The plugs themselves use very little energy to remain connected to your Wi-Fi. By some estimates, plugged in for a full year, the kilowatts they draw would add up to less than $2 in energy costs for the whole year. Compared to what they can save you, they quickly return on your investment. With smart plugs, you can effectively target energy vampires in your home. Those appliances or electronics that continue to draw power when plugged in, even if they're not in use. You can usually identify those items by that ready indicator light that gives off a constant glow. Instead of having to continually unplug things, you can easily create an on-off schedule. Add to that the ability to check whether items have been left on and to turn them off remotely. The savings quickly add up. Weather-resistant smart plugs are also available for outdoor use to help make exterior lighting and other accessories much more efficient. These types of smart technologies can actually lead you to being very smart about energy savings.
Visit PowerHouseTV.com for more tips on energy-efficient add-ons for your PowerHouse.
Vampire energy, also known as standby power, is the power used by electronics when they are plugged in but not in use. It can account for 5 to 10% of a household's energy use, potentially totaling hundreds of dollars a year.
Safe, reliable power to our homes is a standard that we've come to expect, but there is the occasional anomaly that can disrupt the flow, and those are power surges, We're here with Alex Murray from Ken's Electric to give us more perspective on power surges and the steps we can take to prepare and protect. And Alex, thanks for sharing your information with us. And let's first start by defining what's a power surge.
Yeah, so a power surge is basically just a rise in voltage to your home, usually caused by some sort of issue with the equipment delivering power to your house, or very commonly lightning strike.
But surges happen, right? And we have to prepare for them.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, they're a very common issue, especially around the Midwest with all the lightning and thunderstorms that we do have. So.
Now, we often, our lights might flicker and we'll see that our electronics have a little flicker. Is there a threshold that it gets to that we call it a power surge?
Yeah, so when the lights are just flickering and you're noticing, dimming of your lights in the house, it's usually caused by something kind of internal in the home, whether it be HVAC equipment turning on and off, like an air conditioner or something turning on and off, or a compressor in your garage or something turning on and off. That can just cause a voltage fluctuation. A surge is actually when that voltage goes high enough that it actually causes issues with appliances. Usually that threshold is around 150 to 160 volts, means that the standard voltage in your home should be closer to that 115 to 120 area.
Now, they could happen obviously when we're away. Would we know we've had a power surge if we're gone?
Yeah, sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. It kind of depends on how bad the power surge was. So, and it also depends on what was running or what was plugged in at the time. If you're gone, more than likely there's not a lot of stuff turned on or running, but you may come home and you may notice that you have a weird burning smell, or you actually physically notice some wires in your basement that are melted or something. Kind of depends on how severe it was. You may have a furnace that was running while you were gone and it took out the control board in the furnace, and that's where you would notice that you didn't have any heat. So.
We love our surge protectors, and we've got some in front of us here. And surge protectors are great because you can plug in multiple electronics and save energy, which is always a good thing. Let's talk about these different surge protectors and the methods that go with them.
Yeah, so we have a few different surge protectors here. From this end would be kind of your lower end surge protector. Still does the job, but you can pick that up at any hardware store. Then you start getting into the middle of the range surge protector. This will do a little bit better job of handling a little bit higher voltage spikes. And then you get something like this, which would be a little bit higher end, what you'd actually call like a power conditioner. This will actually help maintain even small little spikes in voltage or dips in voltage to really sensitive electronic equipment.
A little more expensive, but is it worth it if you have a number of computers or different electronics you want to protect?
Yep, absolutely. It basically just all comes down to what you're wanting to protect and how much you want to spend on it. Just like anything else, you kind of get what you pay for with something like that. So, like I said, the cheaper version may be better for if you're just plugging in a little monitor or something on your kitchen counter, or something like this might be. You might have 3 or 4 computers in a computer room, and you got a lot of money sunk into them, so you want to protect them.
And then you also have a whole house protector?
Yep, we also have a whole home surge protector. It's actually required by electrical code now for new homes or upgraded services. So basically any new service that's installed for a residential property, you need to have a surge protector that protects the whole house.
Now this could be at the meter or in the box?
Yep,
or?
a lot of new homes require disconnect outside, so sometimes they have space in there where you can snap this in right outside. Otherwise, it could be installed in your electrical panel inside your home. It would kind of go right in line with the rest of your breakers. You would notice it just because it's just a kind of a flat panel, and it would have a light indicating whether it's working or not.
Yeah, it says going to have a green light, so you could look for that,
yep,
right?
Yep, green light means that it's protecting the house, and then if there's no light, it means that the unit needs to be replaced because it may have taken a surge. So.
And really need to have these. I mean, again, that protection for our homes.
Right. Yes, it's very important. And there's a lot of manufacturers out there that manufacture HVAC equipment or certain electronics that actually require them to be installed ahead of their equipment in order to for them to honor their warranty.
Let's talk a little bit about generators. I know we've certainly in the upper Midwest have seen more with severe weather and people putting in generators they have in our homes.
Yep, absolutely. That's a really common thing. We install a lot of standby generators, and that is even a better reason to have a surge protector. Generators are great, but they just aren't quite as consistent as your utility grid. So they will have a little bit of fluctuation in voltage, and if something mechanically did go wrong with that generator, this would protect you from any voltage surge. So.
You'd want to definitely have that.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Here in the upper Midwest, Alex, we see severe weather and lightning. Preparing for that, if you know that there's going to be some severe weather in your home area, turn equipment off.
Yeah, absolutely. If you know that there's a storm coming, you know you're watching the news, it's getting closer. We know that there's a lot of lightning involved. I would certainly say unplug everything that is that you can unplug. The other thing would be is that you know, if you had a TV or something that was hard to get to the plug, just leave the TV off. A lot of times we've noticed that appliances that aren't actually running while the surge occurs may not have any issues, but if it is actually on, sometimes the components inside of them just can't take it.
Alex, thanks for sharing that enlightening information with us. And if you'd like more information about protecting the sensitive equipment from surges in your home, visit our website at PowerHouseTV.com. When it comes to saving energy, knowledge is power.
Here at Alliant Energy, we're all about power. So we want to share some information with you as we answer some frequently asked energy questions. Now, the first question is, how often should I replace my furnace filter? A clean furnace filter is key to your system running efficiently. Air quality is affected by dust, allergens, and other contaminants that the filter is designed to catch. So letting it become overloaded can create musty smells, dusty air, and a spike in allergic reactions. From an energy standpoint, a filter clogged with dust and particles is going to force your furnace to work harder to move the conditioned air around your house. This causes stress on system components and your heating and cooling system as a whole. For best quality air and furnace performance, you should change or check your furnace filter every 30 days. It's a good idea to put a reminder on your calendar or always do it on the first of the month. If you have pets, smokers, or other sources of contaminants in your home, you may want to swap it out more often.
Always check the recommendations for your particular furnace, as well as the recommendations for the filter brand and type you are using to see their suggested schedule. It's important that you only use the type of filter that your system was designed for. Some are only designed for the very basic filter type, and putting in a different filter can actually limit the airflow and cause your system to stop working.
A good rule of thumb is, if you check your filter and it's gray and dusty, it's time to replace it. Consult your furnace manual for the location of the filter and instructions for changing it if you're unsure of how to begin.
Another question we get a lot is, what uses the most energy in my home? According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, the piece of equipment that uses the most energy in a typical home is the heating and cooling system. It can account for roughly half of a household's total energy consumption. Electric water heaters usually place second on the list, followed by other major appliances like refrigerators, washers, dryers, and ovens, depending on your family's usage. The good news is, if you're an Alliant Energy residential customer, you don't have to guess. Through my account on AlliantEnergy.com, you can access a free online tool called My Home. You can see a detailed breakdown on how your home uses energy. You can also compare your usage to that of similar homes, view past usage information, get predictions of future energy use, see how seasons and weather change your usage, find out what appliances are using the most energy in your home, and get personalized recommendations to save energy. For more information, visit AlliantEnergy.com/myhome.
What is the best temperature to set my thermostat? According to most experts, the best temperature to set your thermostat is between 68 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit for heating months and closer to 75 degrees or higher in months when you're using air conditioning. For extra energy savings, try these tactics. At bedtime or when away from home in the winter, aim to lower your thermostat 7 to 10 degrees. In the summertime, raise your thermostat setting 5 degrees or so when you're not home. Your comfort and activity levels may impact how much you can vary the temp, but even small adjustments can help reduce your energy usage.
Our last question today is, what is the best temperature to set my water heater? Water heater temperature can have as much to do with safety as it does with saving energy. From the factory, many water heaters are set to a standard temperature of 140 degrees Fahrenheit. However, setting it closer to 120 degrees can help you save energy and potentially avoid any scalding accidents. OSHA suggests a minimum of 122 degrees to prevent harmful bacteria growth in your water heater tank. If your water heater doesn't have degrees as a setting, you can get a food thermometer and let the hot water run at a faucet for several minutes to allow it to get up to the temperature and measure the temperature. If you're concerned about small children or older adults scalding themselves at the tap, the lower temperature may be your best choice. 122 degrees is considered safe and energy saving, but consider the needs and makeup of your family before moving the dial on your water heater.
Hopefully we answered a question that can get you started with energy saving in your PowerHouse.
When you have questions, don't hesitate to share them with us or to search our website for more information. You can find us at powerhousetv.com.
We made some smart energy saving choices on this week's PowerHouse.
We took a walk on the cool side with a smart refrigerator.
We shared ways to protect equipment from power surges.
We plugged into the smart technology with controllable outlets.
And we answered some key questions to boost your overall energy efficiency knowledge.
All great paths to energy savings for your PowerHouse.